blessed good evening to one and all. This evening I'm here by St. Andrew's Parish Church once again. St. Andrew's Parish Church, Anglican Episcopal. As I said before, St. Andrew's Parish Church was built in 1639, but because it was in such a bad state of disrepair, it had to be rebuilt to this structure in 1846. St. Andrew's Parish Church, another Gothic church. So again, I'm looking towards this road that will lead you back to Belplain. This road here will lead you back to Belplain and St. Andrew, where the Allen Secondary School is. Allen Secondary School, the Allen School is one of Barbados' top and older secondary schools, which was established back in 1787, I think. The Allen Secondary School is at Belplain in St. Andrew, named after Sir John Gay Allen, the same guy who founded the Mount Gay Rum here in Barbados. So Allen School in Belplain this way, back to the East Coast as well. The East Coast, this is in St. Andrew and St. Joseph. Back to the Ermine-Bourne Highway, back to Chalky Mount, back to St. Joseph, the East Coast, this way. It's all up in the hills of Chalky Mount. So this is all the Scotland district of Barbados. Babylon, back to Borden, and back to Turner's Hall and Hillaby, and Mount Hillaby, which is Barbados' highest point. So I will walk through the churchyard of St. Andrew Parish Church, and I will show you around the church, and then come back through the other gate. So this way up at the Shorey village in St. Andrew and back to the parish of St. Peter to the north of the island. Yes guys, I now see the man that shut the gate last week when he see me up here. Not last week, 2 weeks ago. So it was because I was here that he shut the gate. Because he probably think that I want to teach something. Well, for the record, guys, for those who are watching, I don't have any criminal records. I'm not a thief. I don't do nothing to the church. I just have a fascination, not fascination, an interest in these church buildings and historical buildings. And I go ever so often to cover them, to bring them to you guys, especially the historic churches. This is the grave of long-time priest, the Reverend Edward Godson Gatherer, born the 28th of January 1922 and died the 6th of February 2019. Gatherer was originally a Vincentian national. He was at this church for over 50 years, and he was the longest serving priest to serve this church. Reverend Gatherer ended up his incumbency ended up lasting a little longer at St. Andrew, because when he was to retire in 1987, I think, in the late 80s, he put the then bishop in court, the Bishop Drexel Gomez, so that he could stay a little longer at this church. You can see the Scotland district from here, all up in the hills of St. Andrew. That's good. I know this church gate is accustomed being open, but I was surprised when I see the man shut the gate last. 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago. Yes, guys, I have an interest in church buildings and historic buildings and history. I have a keen interest in history. So I like to go to these historic churches and take videos or pictures of them and put out there, especially for tourists visiting the island to see what the country is all about. The bus road I return to Scotland. And I realized that when the guy see me, he put back in the gate. Before driving off. This is the grave of the Bancroft family and the Redmond family. Florence Rickinson and her pal Jake, whose real name is William H. Rickinson, born August 16, 1886 and died on the 5th of April 1974. So this is the Rickinson and Bancroft family grave. So just for the record, I'm in the Scotland district of Barbados to the east side of the island. St. Andrew is one of the eastern parishes, and it is also in the Scotland district of Barbados. The Scotland district comprises of St. Andrew and St. Joseph. They are referred to as the Scotland district because of their resemblance to the Scotland countryside, and there are the parishes in Barbados that carry the most hills. This is St. Andrew's Parish Church, Anglican Church. The Bannister family grave. Last week I went to St. George Parish Church. This is the Shorey. The Shorey family grave. Calvin Adolphus Shorey, Delcina Yancey Gertrude Shorey, and Kathleen Claudette Blanchett. So, I guess this is how the name Shorey Village, which is in St. Andrew across here, came about because of the Shorey family. Last week I went to St. George Parish Church to take videos, and the organist snapped at me and tell me no recording please in the church. So I quietly left. To think that you would experience something like that in the church sometimes, it will make you wonder. You can see there is a dog walking through this churchyard. Come. The grave of cricketer Sir Conrad Hunt. This is Sir Conrad Hunt's grave, West Indian cricketer Sir Conrad Hunt, known as the Knight of St. Andrew. He was born at Greenland Plantation in Shorey Village, St. Andrew, in 1932. And he died in 1999. So this is Sir Conrad Hunt's grave, and his parents, Conrad B. Hunt and Ethelene L. Hunt. And in memory of Hugh Hunt, O.K. Idle Hunt, and Ivan W. Hunt. So this is Sir Conrad Hunt's family grave here. That bus took 2 hours to get down here. From town all the way here. Last time before, because the was paving, I had to go through this back road and next road, get down here at 6:40 and left town at 4 o'clock. Yes, because to get into St. Andrew, no matter where you're coming from, whether you're coming from St. Thomas, St. Joseph, St. Peter, or even the St. James, you have to go down a hill to get into St. Andrew and come up a hill to get up to St. Andrew. That's it. Now coming out of the churchyard now. This road across here will lead you back to Shorey Village in St. Andrew. Shorey Village and back to the parish of St. Peter, which is to the north of the island. St. Peter with Farley Hill National Park, Spitestone, Indian Ground, Boscobel, a mile and a quarter. Anywhere down in the north you want to get, you can travel in this direction. It will also lead you back to a bit of St. Andrew with Greenland, where the same Conrad Hunt was born and raised. It will lead you back to the Greenland landfill and the Culliland plantation, back to the Morgan Lewis windmill, which is the oldest working windmill in Barbados and in the Caribbean and in the world, dating back to 1747. Morgan Lewis is the only working windmill in Barbados. You can actually go there and watch them grind the cane there. It will also lead you back to Shorey Village in St. Andrew. So that's it. You can see all up in the hills of St. Andrew. All over here is Chalky Mount side, and Bessett's, upper parts and lower parts on that side. And all up in Babylon Hill, you can see from here as well. It's a great little church. It's not a little church, but it might be little. It might be big in size from the outside, but inside is a little church. As I said before, my intentions are pure. I walk with a little bike on my back if I'm going to work, or the days I'm off, and I will walk with a bike if I am buying something that I wouldn't have to walk with in my hand. All up in Chalky Mount, St. Andrew, you can see from here. Guys, back to the church, back to square one where I started from. See how that organist behaved last week at St. George? It was very embarrassing. All up in the hills of St. Andrew. I will still not stop going to St. George for the simple reason because I have family there, family that are laid to rest there. So I can still go and look at my grandmother's grave, uncle's grave. As I said before, St. Andrew's Parish Church was built in 1639 originally, but because it was in such a bad state of disrepair, they had to refurbish, they had to rebuild it. Back to square one. Thank you guys for watching now. Have a blessed evening. And stay Stay tuned for more videos of Barbados. Most parish churches in Barbados have roundabouts outside of them. St. Thomas is the same thing. St. Lucy and now St. Andrew. St. Andrew Parish Church. See the dog at the gate again. Thank you guys for watching now. And do have a blessed evening. St. Andrew carries Barbados' highest point, which is Mount Hillaby. As I said before, can be accessed from over here. Mount Hillaby is Barbados' highest point, 1,116 feet, bordering St. Andrew and St. Thomas. It is in the Scotland district as well. Thank you guys for watching now. Have a blessed evening.